What is it that you know about these 5G death towers that makes you so sure they're safe? Is it because the television tells you that they're safe? Is it because these telecom companies tell you that they're within FCC safety guidelines? Do you think the people in Flint, Michigan drinking the city water are safe? How about the people in Newark, New Jersey? How about the countless other cases, catastrophes, where big government tells you that, oh, this is so safe. I mean, you could bathe in it. You can drink it, ladies and gentlemen. You can get dosed with it 24/7. No way this could be an issue whatsoever. What makes people so sure that these 5G death towers are so safe? That is the question, especially with these recently declassified documents from NASA and the Air Force citing studies from the 60s and 70s and 80s that prove that this type of radiation, even at lower doses than the FCC limits, cause cancer, attack the nervous system, attack the immunity system. What does it tell you about the people that rolls out death towers in your neighborhood, knowing that these things aren't safe, that they cause all sorts of, cancers and other deadly diseases because they suppress your immune system? What does it tell you about these people that would roll out these death towers and tell you that it's safe? What does the current, fluoridation program tell you about these people that are in charge? What about the current vaccine program? You got to get 100 fucking toxic vaccines, pardon the language, and they think that's safe. They're obviously comedians. They're obviously just laughing at us. Yeah, take these 100 vaccines. You'll be okay. Have you seen people out there today? They're not okay. Things are not okay out there. And the reason that they're getting worse is because people aren't asking the right questions. They're completely distracted, deceived by this matrix, ladies and gentlemen, and they're never going to see the light unless we go out there and slap them in the face with it. And that's basically what it's going to come down to. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to go bitch slap your neighbor and go, look, these death towers that, you see out there that the television claims is safe is actually part of the Agenda 21 extermination program. And I think if anybody's been, paying attention since 9/11, things haven't gotten any better out there. In fact, they've gotten worse. And I'm not so, confident that this hero in the White House is actually, fighting on our side. I mean, they've made the 5G a national priority. They haven't rolled back the vaccines or the fluoride or the GMOs or the pesticides or any of it, have they, ladies and gentlemen? They haven't arrested the coup members. They didn't lock Hillary up. They didn't even build the wall. No term limits. You have to wonder on whose side that guy's on. But the television is always there to deceive you. And I'm convinced that these people on TV are nothing more than actors, nothing more than script readers. I'm not sure how many people have been to one of these rallies, but they're just reading off the teleprompter. It's like a big act. And it really confuses me to see people just kind of like buy into it like it's real. Have you ever watched anybody watch the WWE that still thinks it's real? Like they still believe in the Santa Claus? And you don't know what to say to these people. It's like, hello, it's fake, right? But no, we've got millions and millions of people in trance fighting each other over which cartoon character is the best. Is it Trump? Is it Hillary? Is it, whoever it might be? Who's your favorite cartoon character? And people are getting violent over this shit, ladies and gentlemen. They're ready to shoot each other over the cartoon characters they see on TV. It must be me, but I feel like I live in the Twilight Zone. and that, society is so far gone that I just can't be in the same, on the same planet that I grew up in. Something must have happened. Maybe it was the Mandela effect. Maybe it was some kind of, wormhole. We don't know. Maybe time travelers, kind of came back and changed the future. And only some of us are kind of waking up to it. We just don't know what's really going on out there. But whoever these people are that are rolling out death towers and telling you that it's a wonderful idea, they're full of shit. They're paid shills. And, these people that would, say, oh, yeah, no, this stuff is okay, they haven't done their research. And there's nothing worse than wasting your time with idiocracy, because you're never going to win. It's going to try and suck you in, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just kind of, what it's meant by throwing your pearls before swine. Don't waste your time, with the heathens out there. I don't believe that, people are sleeping anymore. There's no way that people could be sleeping. The people that tell you like, oh, this stuff, is perfectly normal and safe, they're obviously part of the Jonestown cult. They've already drunk the Kool-Aid. There's nothing you can do. It's save who you can out there. And literally, that's the truth. This experiment just kind of blows my mind. It's kind of like the white rice words out there. But Wi-Fi off. Everything's totally normal, totally fine. The Wi-Fi on, it just kills life. That's what this stuff is. It's a killer, ladies and gentlemen. And they're selling it to you like, oh, it's the next DDT. Here, come bathe in this shit. It'll take out all the lice. It'll, make you smell fresh. But this stuff is worse than you can imagine. Wi-Fi off, Wi-Fi on. You should check out that experiment. Reproduce it for yourselves. And of course, if you get smart, you wise up to what's going on out there. They just, send the FBI after you. Shut down your free speech. We're so not in a free country. And the people that are just kind of like playing along, with the TV, they're obviously part of the problem. And from our point of view, they look like, they must be demonically possessed or something. There must be something else going on. There's just no way that, people could be this oblivious. And, from our experience, when you peel back the layers, you find out that, the people that are, debating against you are hardcore cult members. They're out there to kill the babies. They're all about the Sodom and Gomorrah, New Babylon. They want to jack into the Matrix. They love Google and Facebook and all of that stuff. There's no helping those people out there. As much as you want to, there's just no helping the future that they're going to unleash. And it's, these same people that have brought us from the happy days, the Leave It to Beaver days, to where we are today. Something happened, ladies and gentlemen, and these people are still out there causing damage. And all we can say, it doesn't seem like it's entirely human what's going on. It seems like there's forces from another world out there, just rolling out their technology, making it seem like this is just natural evolution. But there's a plan going on. These towers are getting closer and bigger, and it's part of a plan. It's like the chemtrails. It's like the vaccines and the GMOs and the fluoride and the pesticides everywhere, poisons everywhere. It's part of the plan. It's part of the Agenda 21. There's too many people out there, and, the numbers are going through the roof. We're going to double in size every 20 years, pretty much. In 20 years, there'll be nearly 500 million Americans. There's too many people out there. And that's why these death towers are coming to a neighborhood near you. And of course, they promote death by natural cause. They suppress the immune system. So it looks completely normal. Like, oh, this person, he got the flu. Or this person, they got sepsis or something. But at the end of the day, what they're pumping into the environment is making people sick. And it's making them like age quicker as well. People are looking older for their age than they've ever looked before. And it's rather startling. I'm sure at one point in time, people, thought to themselves, man, looks like, 8-year-olds are getting the mustache now. Real young people sporting the mustache and the like. And people, were thinking about that 20 years ago. Now it's like people generally look 10 years older than they actually are. And that's part of the eugenics program. Growth hormones and everything you buy, plus these death hours, accelerate it even more. And there's all sorts of things that they discovered back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s about this radiation that told them that, there's definitely a need for limits. It's not like there's limitless exposure to this radiation. They said it, the guidelines are based on, military exposure back in the 60s. And they're like, well, this didn't kill anybody. This is when they were, blowing up nuclear weapons, in the atmosphere and, using lead paint and asbestos, at that era, during that era, they set the limits for this radiation. They're like, oh no, up to this limit, after this limit, it's no good. And, that was supposed to be for, somebody that was, that was going to go through that as an occupational hazard. It wasn't meant for, like a 5-year-old at an elementary school or whatever with a tablet computer and, the router just overhead. What they say is legal isn't safe. And, there's an abundance of information on that out there, study after study. And it's like, what are they waiting for? What are they waiting for to take the fluoride out of the water? What are they waiting for to pull out the vaccines? What are they waiting for to stop the chemtrails? Wasn't this president going to do, all of that and more, drain the swamp, deal, some kind of blow to the dark side? And instead, they've just let them grow back. And, now they're worse than ever. It's a full-blown coup. It's impeachment. Everybody's been censored. And if you're a conservative, you got a big target on your back thanks to, basically the complacency by this administration. They'd rather focus on, the big companies on the stock exchange rather than, normal people out there. And I think a lot of people are going to feel really betrayed and in a position where there's just like, what do you do? You can't vote for anybody else. This guy isn't going to do anything. And you're just sitting there, like a lame duck as they're about to roll out their Skynet, their Terminators, their Robocops, their brain chip and all of that stuff. And, they're going to be your imperial masters and you're just going to be some kind of cyborg running around, doing their slave work. And nothing screams retard like, what's going on out there today. And I just can't imagine, people really waking up in time to do anything about it. I mean, people just don't get the urgency. They don't sense the danger because, it looks like a street light. Oh, it's a street light. It must be safe. The TV says it's safe. It must be okay. And, the big surprise will be, the continuance of this trend in life expectancy going down in this country. And, they'll blame whatever they want to blame, but things should be so much better, and yet they're getting worse. And, you look at the way, we treat our people out there, how many people live on the streets, and, if it's this bad now, if they're rolling out the death towers, if they're leaving the borders wide open, if they're, basically selling you out to the third world, if it's this bad now, how bad is it going to be in the future? I mean, these people are all waving the communist flag. I mean, what could go wrong? You know what I mean? They're all like, yeah, let's get the chip, the mark of the beast. What could possibly go wrong? They want to ban the Bible. What could possibly go wrong? You got people out there that want to chop off their gonads and become like the opposite sex. What could go wrong with that? Yeah, and trying to talk sense with these people only gets you targeted even more. And it's like, they want the fight, they want the war, they want to exterminate you, and they want you to know. But people out there, they just don't want to know. They're like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what these death towers are really doing, because then I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't play my video games. I couldn't just go to the restaurant if I knew what I was actually getting dosed with. So people prefer just to kind of like, pretend like it's not happening. There's a solution to this problem, ladies and gentlemen. And it's the same solution as if somebody just came, storming through your door, with some kind of ray gun and started blasting everybody and started poisoning the water and started, poisoning the food and trying to inject you with, who knows what. Right? There's a solution to that. And, it's everybody's right to protect themselves, to protect their communities. And people really have to kind of, band together and network and take this country back. And it's not going to be an easy fight. You know that you're not going to be able to do it, the old-fashioned way. And, eventually it's going to come down to 1776 Part 2. And everybody knows it. The question is, how much longer are you going to wait? Are you going to wait for them to have the RoboCops? Are you going to wait for them to, turn these death towers on max? And the like. So you think it's bad now. It's only going to get worse. And, the situation is terribly ugly out there between society, which is completely degenerated, and this deep state that's out to get you. And there's really only going to be 3% of you out there that are going to be able to make a difference. And you need to find that 3%. And we need a free city. We need a free state where, we're not being bombarded by this shit 24/7. I mean, these people are out to get you 24/7. If it's not one thing, it's another. And, their aim is to get you to lose your soul. That's the aim of this entire beast system, is just, working you 24/7 so that you'll sell out for that new car, sell out for that new house, sell out for, that new job and the like. And that's all this system is about. And once you see it for what it is and push back against the evil, things become, remarkably clear. It's not about Republican versus Democrat out there. It's about good versus evil. It's about the pages of the Bible playing out before your very eyes. And this beast system is rolling out its death programs, its Agenda 21, and the sheeple are just grabbing their ankles, trusting the television. And, look, who can blame them? It's like Stockholm Syndrome. You don't dare step out of line because the system is going to crack down. But it can only crack down if it can single people out. If people if we the people come together, and push back against this system, which is completely corrupt, we can make a change. If we can throw out this two-party system, perhaps we can make a change. But the damage has been done. I mean, these people are brainwashed out there, and they wouldn't have it any other way. We're stuck in this matrix, and the walls are closing in. And so what do? Save your town if you can. Wake people up. Focus on these death towers. There's a lot of things to focus on. There's a lot of different battles that you could fight. But how many of them do you think you can win? You can do something about these death towers, and these death towers are going to be the foundation for their whole Skynet, Terminators, RoboCops, drones, you name it. Their entire prison planet is going to depend on this communications grid. And this is a fight that can be won. People can push back and say, no, we don't want anything beyond 4G in our town. We don't need it. And people got to get serious about it, because before they know it, they're going to have, Terminators up their ass. Big time, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have to leave it there for this broadcast. Check out the Bible. And until the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.